Uh-oh. Should have run a test. Well, as long as it's picking me up, it'll be good for now, unless you want to stop your streaming and...
Go for it. All
right. So, where we left off last week, you had all arrived in Vogler. It's Vogler. I was saying Volgar, but it's Vogler. Because of the brief stop that the four of you did staying at that farmhouse for the night, you arrived the day of the funeral. So we're going to backtrack just slightly to, well, I guess Jim's mic's being fixed, so we'll start with Brian. So you get dropped off outside the river gate. You see the map right here. The road from High Hill up there. I could read the description again that I ended the game with last time. It is a fishing village clinging to a spit of land reaching into the Vingard River. Wooded cliffs overlook the community, and the only path from the north descends past the ivory-covered remnants of a crumbling stone keep, as you can see here. The village's modest wooden buildings cluster around a quaint central circle and along the riverbank. Jutting into the river, out of place and out of time, stands an incomplete stone bridge of incredible artisanship. The structure clearly dates to before the Cataclysm, eclipsing its modern piers in size and sturdiness. The bridge crosses less than half the river's width before giving way to a series of ropes and tethered rafts serving as ferries. On the river itself, dozens of small boats drift along the slow, murky waters as the fishermen of Vogler ply their trade. Now, I don't know who here is not familiar with the Cataclysm, but it is somewhat pertinent to this adventure. There was a time where there was like a holy order in a city called Istar, ruled by a king priest, and over time they began to think that they were more powerful and more important than the gods, and they started talking shit. And the king priest was going to, I think he was casting some kind of crazy ritual that was supposedly going to give him the same powers that a god has. But the gods didn't like this very much, and they basically dropped a fiery meteor out of the sky, detonating Istar, dropping it to the bottom of the sea. There's a permanent maelstrom where Istar used to be, called the Blood Sea. We'll come back here. I'll show you on the map, on the poster map. If you zoom out.
Oh, yeah, it's right there, where it says Blood Sea.
Blood Sea of Istar, yes. That was the Cataclysm. That was the day the gods disappeared, the dragons disappeared, and the world was...
That whole bay was like land, wasn't it?
Yes, and that's what caused Lord Soth to become the Death Knight he is, because he was given instructions by, I forget which, Kiri Jolith or whatever, the god of the Salamnic Knights, to go to Istar, and he had the chance to prevent the Cataclysm. But halfway to Istar, he got word that his wife was cheating around on him or whatnot, so instead he turned around and went home, and I'm pretty sure slaughtered his whole family and servants and stuff like that, and thus did not stop the Cataclysm. And these are relevant for this adventure. But the reason that you're here, well, besides the funeral, this town, the Kingfisher Festival, celebrates a battle between the Salamnic Knights and the forces of Istar on High Hill, where after that battle the survivors basically started this town. So once a year they hold this festival to commemorate the battle. They do a mock-up reenactment on High Hill as the capstone of the festival. And so you find yourself coming through the river gate. It is a 15-foot tall wooded archway carved with 2 leaping fish on its frame. There are... It looks like people have written their names onto various individual scales on the fish, like child graffiti or whatnot. The doors have not been closed in a long time. You can tell this because of the grass and dirt piled up around the the edges of the doors. They're just unclosable now without some serious work. But as you walk into the town, there is just an air of it's so lighthearted. And being like a Sylvanesti elf, where you come from a very proper, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but this is almost maybe too freeform for you, but it is definitely cheerful. People just greet you and wave. The passerby with a basket of apples just hands you one. Says, welcome to Vogler, sir. Nice to meet you. And then, wanders off. It's.
I would politely smile and take it, and then when he's not looking, toss it.
Perfect.
Kind of wipe my hands.
Ew. Now, in your handouts, you have the note that you were mailed, which lets you know that you would have lodgings prepared in the Brass Crab. Can you see the names of locations on this map?
On this map, no.
Okay, let me fix that. Because there's no reason why you shouldn't see. Let's see. Let's choose there. How about now?
I was going to ask you if I would know what that ruined tower is, but I guess it's Thornwall.
It's fine. It's an old keep. It still looks like it's somewhat used, but it's in disrepair. And there's a massive, not quite catapult on the roof. It's a very weird looking device.
Like a trebuchet?
I was going to say.
It kind of looks like a trebuchet, but not quite. There's something. Well, you're not an engineer, so yeah, it's a trebuchet.
Okay.
If your mic is working, Jim, then you are also right around now coming through into Vogler. You've been here before because it's only a few days walk up from your regular town.
And I'm not as snooty as the elf is.
No, and you might even have been to a few of these Kingfisher festivals. They're not like, they don't draw in a huge crowd because it is much more for the locals. But if you happen to be in the area, you know that it's a day of feasting and drinking and a big fishing festival during the day. And then you may or may not have been around for the reenactments at night. But you know the town really gets into it. Now, the irony is they don't really like... Well, they don't hate the Solamnic Knights, but they don't have any here. It's not generally actual knights that do the reenactments. So considering the fact that it's for them, it's weird. It's more like a historical interest to the town than it is an actual thing that the Solamnics revere.
Well, how far is High Hill from here?
High Hill's about a half a mile north.
Oh, okay. That's not far.
Yeah, it's pretty close. The mayor's home is obviously the largest building in town. I think it's the only 3-story house, maybe. And as you wander through the town, just getting a feel for the whole thing, you see the mayor's home. It's a 2-story house. It's not huge. You see the village market, which is there's people hanging banners, festival style looking things. There's like some stalls and shops being set up in advance of tomorrow's or 2 days' time. It's actually because you guys are here the day before the funeral.
Is the Brass Crab the L-shaped building or the actual big huge building there?
The Brass Crab is the big building.
Okay.
Kind of looks
looks
like a crab.
Exactly. And it's actually not that big when you look at the scale, 30 feet. So it's maybe 60 feet across.
Well, I was comparing it to the mayor's place, and it's similar in size.
Yeah. That Tessa that made those maps, she tried to get as close to the actual accurate scale as she could.
Wow.
I know.
Nice.
Like when you go to the Brass Crab map that she's got, it was surprisingly close. Not spot on, but very, very, very close. And thanks again, Jim, for buying me those maps.
No problem.
Really cool. Is that where you're headed?
Well, that's where I'm supposed to go.
All right, let's go to the Brass Crab now.
Yeah, that's where we're supposed to be going. Is the Brass Crab?
Yes.
That is where you have lodgings. Oops, I put you on the GM
And the
layer.
memorial service for this guy is when?
It is tomorrow evening.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put you both here, even though you're.
This
probably
one looks
not
like
riding
it's
together.
staring up.
Yeah, we got a lighting effect, just so you know. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's
It's-
shadowed in there.
I think
fine.
it's line
You're
of
seeing
sight.
through the window. Yeah, you're seeing through the window. Let's say you arrive at the same time, because none of you two haven't met each other yet, and you two haven't met the rest of the group yet. So this is where I'm going to have a little bit of a challenge tonight, but not too bad.
We'll both ask for the same person, and we'll look at each other and go, "What?"
Yes, I will open the door to the Brass Crab.
You
You can't
guys
fail
know
any
Thor?
more. You can't fail any worse than that one time Nate did. When he was supposed to get my character together with yours, and instead we fought, and then my
Yes,
character ran away,
I know.
never to be seen again, or flew away because he was a gargoyle.
It was a gargoyle, yeah. So the Brass Crab is a modest single-story inn on the wharf, and its exterior vaguely resembles its namesake. As you enter, you see the proprietress standing behind the circular bar in the center of the building. The circular common room features a faded mural of two enormous crabs locked in combat, inlaid with brass details.
Woo! Crab
It's
fight!
faded and very old.
All right. Well, I am going to go right to the bar so that I can ask for Becklin.
She, the bartender looks up at you and she goes, "Ho, out of towner! Are you here for the festival?"
No sadder reasons.
Oh, Green Shield.
Yes.
I see. So, are you one of Becklin's guests?
Actually, yes. I was invited by him.
Her actually.
Oops.
She will probably check in later this evening. But I do have rooms set aside. I'm afraid you're going to have to bunk with others. She's bought out 6 beds for the night, and I only have 2 large rooms. So, if you don't mind, she holds up 2 keys. Pick one.
Sure. I could also go to take one, but I could sleep in the bar if you want. I'm used to it.
Oh, no. Of course not. We wouldn't have that.
All right, I'll take one of the keys.
All right. She points toward this door over here. She goes, "That'll be that room."
Do you know what time she's arriving, or when she's arriving?
She usually shows up in the evening, has a few drinks, and checks in on the townsfolk. You have all day to explore the city, or just sit down and have a drink if you like.
I'll take an ale if you wouldn't mind.
Of course. This one's on me, she says, and she hands you a big flagon.
Oh, all right. I'll go and I'll sit down for a minute, rest my legs.
Okay. I will say that at this point, or shortly after that, Brian has walked in and overheard probably most of that, because there's no whisper.
Is Becklin the one that invited me too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have the handout.
Yeah, it's in the letter.
It's in the Ispin Green Shield thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Or in the handouts, player handouts.
It even says we'll be
handout
having
2.1.
accommodations at the
Oh,
Brass
the
Crab.
2. Okay.
Yep.
I am Becklin. Yep. Now I see it.
Where? Who's the guy that we were traveling with? The one we met at the end.
Yes. What did I call him? Slag something or other. He's
Bowhammer.
Four.
Ah.
Yes.
He Well, we'll get to you guys in a second.
How old was Ishbin when he died?
He was older. He was elderly.
Okay. I was just
More than
wondering if it seems like
likely,
it could have been natural causes or
yeah. It was very likely natural
Weird.
causes. It doesn't
There's,
actually
like-
tell me in the adventure, so that's what I'm assuming.
Door and window symbols showing up on the doors and windows.
Yeah, that's been around for a little while.
yeah.
Oh, they're adding an overlay. I can't wait. They're adding a new layer, a top layer. So you can put roofs, you can put treetops, you can put weather effects. And the tokens will be under them but still visible.
Nice.
I
Cool.
can't wait. That's coming this year. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going up to the bartender and saying, "Hello, my dear. I couldn't help overhearing your conversation with that young man a minute ago.
Yes.
I too was invited here by a Becklin.
Well, then your rooms have been already taken care of. You are on the list, I'm assuming. Not that I remembered that with Jim either, but whatever. Would
Yes.
you like the same room or a different room? As I told him, I've only got 2 rooms and there are 6 of you coming. So if you want a private room, I'm afraid that's not an option.
So, what did Jim look like?
Jim, describe yourself. Besides your token.
I was gonna say I look like my token.
He looks that guy. How old does he look?
Like 27.
Okay.
27-year-old human. Well, I'm sure you don't know my age, but
Right.
brown hair, dressed in well-used leather armor. Very outdoorsy looking kind of guy.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll take my chances with him, I guess.
All right. Well, then here you go. She hands you a key. You'll be that door on this side. She points.
That side.
Would you like a drink?
Why is Rin gone the other direction? Oh, he's at a
Well,
table.
yeah, he's sitting at a table.
I thought. Okay. Yes. What do you have in the realm of wines?
Ooh, you're lucky. We have an Argothian red that just showed up for the festival. I suppose I could give you a glass. I gave him a free mug of ale, but I'm afraid the wine, I'm going to have to charge you a silver piece.
Oh, that's quite fine.
So pour you out a little glass of this sweet
Figure
smelling.
out. Still getting used to these new character sheets
Yeah,
and
that's
where
fine.
everything is. Money.
No.
So gold. How do I edit this? No.
I've messed with it too. I know how you do it. I just can't remember how.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's the settings button. It's underneath the currency.
Got
And then
it.
you click the currency tab. So, how much was it? 1 silver?
1 silver. It's not as good as some of the Sylvanesti vintages that you've had over the when you lived at home. But I mean, for human wine, it's pretty good.
All right. All right. I
I'm
thank you, my lady.
I'm playing up your Elven stereotypes, of course.
Well, I am an elven
y-
stereotype, so that's fine. I'm basically a walking elven stereotype.
Right.
All right. I'll come over here
Um,
and... What?
Go ahead.
I will come over here and meet this guy.
This dude.
Okay.
Hello,
yeah.
sir.
Hello. So you're here for Green Shield as well, huh?
Yes, I was friends with him. I was most distraught to learn of his passing. How about yourself?
He used to come to my village and tell me stories of the outside world,
Ah,
but I think he inspired me to want to see more of it.
yes, that makes sense.
A drink to Ispin Green Shield.
Yes.
On his
I'll
last
drink.
journey, may he find adventure.
Well spoken.
I have terrible charisma, by the way.
Well,
Poorly
seems all right to me.
spoken.
Now,
I think I have pretty poor charisma too.
you probably trade a few stories. the guy's supposed to be the kind of guy that would tell tall tales, and he was known to be a braggart a little bit, and just he was kind of a bardish type, like just full of stories, and most of them are probably not true. But he also could hold his own in a fight, and you more than likely had a few adventures with him, and then would later hear the story as he told it, and it would be way more outlandish than what you remembered from when you were there. And most people hearing the stories would assume that. But it also had the side effect of downplaying your actual accomplishments because people wouldn't necessarily believe anything that he said. But he was definitely a jovial and friendly sort of guy. And so, it's like noon now. Would you hang around here, go explore the city? What would you feel like doing?
Have you seen the city before?
No, I've never been here.
It's worth seeing.
Yeah, I would like to take a look once I finish my wine.
He's a slow drinker, isn't he? Been here 3 hours. Drink the goddamn wine.
Nice. I live for
Sipping at it,
centuries.
yeah.
I savor everything.
Right. How old is Kale?
I don't know if I even chose me. It's in my bio.
He's ageless.
Is he like Treebeard?
Yeah.
Just does everything slow.
Right. Really, really slow.
Yeah, I don't think I have even a age picked out.
Okay, that's fine.
I think he's like 250. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably haven't been this far north anyway. Wouldn't really have a reason to. Sylvan Esti is way to the south.
That was literally my next question. What are you doing this far north?
No, I came for Espin's memorial.
Oh,
Of course.
so you must have heard a long time back.
How long? I don't know. How long would it have taken to get here from?
Well, you
Sylvan?
teleported.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. That's right. Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, no. There was. I got here through some magical means, shall we say?
Oh, I look at his
Speedier than
robes.
overland. Huh?
What color are your robes?
Well, I guess
Doesn't have
I
robes
wouldn't.
yet.
I guess I wouldn't have robes yet. I haven't taken
okay.
the test.
Right. You might have the signs of being a wizard, though. So you might even use that. That might be something you actually said. I don't have my robes yet. I have to take the test.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I am truly impressed. A wizard among us.
Now, keeping in mind, Brian, druids as magically active druids don't exist as far as you know. So you wouldn't necessarily know from looking at him what class he was. Maybe assume ranger or
Right.
something like that.
He probably looks like like a ranger or something,
Yeah.
or just a dirty fighter.
A bumpkin.
you dirty fighter.
Speaking of dirty fighters.
All right. So you give Kale the tour, a walkabout of Vogler. It gets closer to the evening, so you start seeing a lot of the fishing boats coming in. You go out to that partial bridge. Let's see. Let's go back to that map real quick. We're learning where everything is. Yeah, you wander around. You go by the village circle and the fishbowl, and the fishbowl is like a small tavern. No inn, no places to sleep, but you see a lot of the common folk coming and going. It seems like the local gossip hole where people just go in and grab a drink and share stories for the day and then leave. It's cramped. You pop in for a second and it's like there's no room to move around in here.
How metropolitan is this place?
Fishbowl. It sounds like a club for exhibitionists.
It does.
It's
Why do
just
you think
classic
I'm
two-ounce
taking him
roll
there?
Wiggles.
All right, this is the fishbowl map. I don't know why I put Salamnic Knights. They should be just regular guards, but ignore that.
Because I know, like,
But yeah,
in the stories, there
Go
wasn't a
ahead.
lot of like mixing of the races, right? Is it the same?
this
now?
town is about 30% human, and actually no, it's more than that. It's more like 40-50% human, and then an equal number of hill dwarves, and a larger than expected Kender population.
Ah,
But
Man,
those are
that's
the
fantastic.
three. Those are the three dominant.
you should have told me
races
that
live
before.
in
My coin
Bogler.
purse is inside of my clothes.
Well, yeah, right. A lot of the Kender seem to be getting in on the decorating and merrymaking and whatnot. But yeah, you see the fishbowl. You walk down here to the market, and again, I think the lighting is on. Let's turn that off.
Yeah, I can't see anything. There we go.
So you can see the whole wharf area. There's something interesting on the wharf that I wanted to point out to you. So as you're showing Hale around and you're walking along the beach area, there's a centuries-old wooden post that a lot of the fishermen, as they come out of the water, they just kind of rub it for good luck, kind of thing. And make a religion check, Jim.
Okay.
Why are blood spots showing up?
I was wondering that myself.
Somebody playing with the effects.
What
I'm
I
thinking
think
it's probably Chris, judging by his
Yeah.
silence.
What's going on, guys? I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know what you're
Alright,
talking about.
let's just
Ne-
say
never
not
mind,
so
Jim.
good.
No, not so good. So irrelevant. All right. Let's see. And I'm not gonna do that one. You see the bridge, Vogler's Crossing,
No, I don't.
which just kind of juts out into the pier a little ways. And again, like the description, it is an old pre-cataclysm structure.
Come
It looks like it probably collapsed at some point. I mean, the description kind of makes it sound like it was not finished building, but I think it probably at one point existed all the way across the river and had failed, or the cataclysm probably destroyed it. Whatever. We'll go back to the brass crab. We'll go to the brass crab nighttime. Oh wait, no, we can't do that yet. Can't do that yet. That's too. That's got some stuff on it. I forgot. So you go back at sundown, and you are seated at your same table, and the same exact guests are still here because I'm too lazy to fix it. When a woman in full Salamnic armor, holding her horned helmet, enters the room.
Katira? What?
And I've already forgotten her squire. There he is. And she comes in, and the bartender lady, she says, Becklin, you have guests. And she gestures toward your table. And the woman just nods her head, says, "Thank you, Yalma. I will have a speak with them." And she wanders over to the table, and I forgot I was going to give her an accent. That's fine. She holds her hand out. She says, "Excuse me, I am Becklin Us Veharen. And you, hold on." She looks you over. "I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you are Kale, yes?"
She's pointing at me, I take it.
She is pointing at you.
Yes, that is quite astute of you.
Yes, well, Ispin spoke highly of you, all of you, both of you. There are others. You know, he loved to tell tales. Yes, he had a particular fondness for you, Kale. Said you were going to be a powerful wizard someday.
Well, hopefully. We'll see.
And you are. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Jorin, right?
Yes.
You live in the woods.
Well, yeah,
I
most
seem
of
to
the time.
recall. I seem to recall a tale of some. Was it a goblin? I think it's fuzzy.
A goblin
But he-
incursion, yes.
Yes. He thought you were a very very astute young man. It is sad that we must meet under such circumstances. Oh, but pardon my manners. This is my squire, Derrit.
Hello, Derek.
She gestures at this shaggy looking kind of guy. She says the funeral will be tomorrow evening, right here at the Brass Crabs. So, I am glad that you could attend. I hope the accommodations are to your liking.
Yes, but
They're the best I could afford at such time. Yes.
surely we can pay you back. Is there...
Oh no. It's been left enough, in his will, to more than cover your rooms and his funeral, and a bit more, to be honest.
Huh.
But we'll discuss that some other time. For now, it is an honor to meet you finally.
Are you staying here as well?
Oh no. I stay up in Thornwatch Keep. My job here is to keep the peace in Vogler. It's my retirement, you might say.
Well, it is a lovely city.
It is.
Everybody is very friendly.
Well, yes, especially this time of year. The townsfolk of Vogler love their Kingfisher Festival, I can tell you. The foods, the drinks that you will be able to sample come the festival will probably astound you. But please, I have other duties to attend to, but I am so glad you're here. Hopefully the others arrive as well. Green Shield always thought you should meet. It's good to see that did you already know each other, or was...
No, we arrived around the same time. Actually.
Oh, then this is delightful. Perhaps he knew you better than you know yourselves. Again, it's been an honor, and I will see you again tomorrow evening.
Pleasure meeting you.
Was it sundown?
It's just after sundown now, yeah.
No, I mean the funeral. What time?
Yes,
Or when?
sundown tomorrow evening, yep.
I keep using time. Sorry.
Or
When is the
it'll be
funeral?
dusk tomorrow evening.
Duskish.
Duskish here on the wharf out front, and she points toward the
Roll
door
does.
down here. Yes. Roll does.
So when is this festival actually happening?
It is happening the day after the funeral.
And it's just for the one day?
Yes, it is a day of feasting, partying. There's a fishing tournament if you want to try your hand. Biggest fish gets a prize. And then in the afternoon, they do the reenactment on High Hill, where they reenact the Battle of... And then she starts to ramble off on this Salamnic history of the Battle of High Hill and its significance in the grander scheme of things. And you can tell that she's kind of a bit of a history buff. If you let her get off topic.
Nerd.
But she catches herself about halfway through. So we can discuss all that later. But before the festival, I would like you, all you two as well as the others, to come to Thornwatch Keep, I will have I have something to present you. A parting gift and a final request from Ispin. But we can touch on that later. Enjoy the brass crab, and dinner's on me, she says, and she walks over to the bar for a second, says something to Yalma, hands her some coins. She says, enjoy your evening. Derek, come. And then the two of them...
Who knew Ispin was actually so well-to-do? I just thought it was another of his stories.
Yes. Well, you never could tell with him.
So the following morning, the rest of you... Well, not morning. The following afternoon, or around noonish, the rest of you arrive. Fohammer gets you to a small ferry spot on the other side of the river, because you've been traveling on the south side of the Vingard. And he rents a ferry, or pays a ferryman to ferry you across to Vogler's Crossing, but he does not accompany you. For reasons that he stated last time. He's not necessarily welcome there. But he does say, you make the best of it, all right? Ispin was a good man, and it's tough to hear that he's passed, but my condolences. Stay for the festival if you have a chance. I hear it's really great. And he pays the ferryman to ferry you across, where you basically get off right there at Vogler's Crossing, where that little pier thingy is down there. You see the massive, incomplete stone bridge roaring up over your head. It's about a 10-minute raft across the river, so you can take it all in. And you get the same, basically, description that I gave before, obviously. You do get a few more head turns. Not so much to the Kender, because you realize there's a lot of Kender wandering around. It is the Minotaur that draws looks. As Docker steps off the ferry, people kind of halt in their tracks for a minute, and then try to recover and act like they didn't say anything and go about their business and whatnot. But there's it's almost like a wave of looks as Docker walks the streets. And a little, probably 8-year-old kid runs up. He says, Mommy, look, he's got a cow head. A mother comes running really quickly and tries to turn him around. I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look at the mother and be like, boo.
I assume at this point you head toward the Brass Crab to check in and get your lodging squared away.
Yep.
Don't do it, it's a trap.
And
Where's
so,
Admiral Akbar to warn us when we need him?
Mm-hmm.
We got Ven, we got Docker, we got Shamford, and we got Lightfoot.
Are we supposed to be able to move other people's tokens?
There are 3 tokens that have shared views because I wanted Jim to be able to catch all the stream when you guys
I
split
was
up.
moving Jim's token earlier, and I realized it wasn't me.
Yeah, I'll fix that at some point.
I
in the
don't look
future,
like a
but
little kid.
today it's not super important.
I know, but your portrait is typically what I would play for a human, so...
Oh, yeah. You can pop inside. The door was closed for some reason. There, now the door is open. And you see a modest little common area, tavern, whatnot. And most of the people in here are either humans or dwarves, but you do see a single elf that kind of stands out, seated at a table. Looks very wizardly. And the bartender looks up and she says, "Can I help you folks? Are you here for the festival or are you here for the unfortunate event?"
The opposite of a festival?
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am, but we are
Yes.
here for the funeral.
Are you the other guests of Becklin?
I
Yes.
can't speak necessarily for that, but we are indeed looking for Becklin.
Well, she will be here this evening. The funeral is tonight. If you are on her list of friends of Green Shield, then I have rooms already prepaid for you. I'm afraid one of you will have to share a room with them. And she points over at the two seated at the table.
I look
and
at
the other-
the people and I'm like,
I like that one. Yes, the motley group that just walked in stands out because of the Minotaur and another elf.
yes, I want
And,
the boy to bunk with us.
And Ven is definitely like. I might be taking liberties, Jamie, but I'm assuming you have a lot of training, obviously, and so you probably have a poise or a stance about you that would stand out.
Military prowess.
Yeah, maybe like
Probably.
like a broad. His shoulders are back and he's kind of standing with a stance.
He's not hunched over like a dirt farmer.
I'm not weak. You're trying to tell me I'm not weak.
Right, you're projecting.
Checking my strength.
All right. How about each of you four roll me a d4?
Hey, I'm rebooting the roll 20 because my character sheet wouldn't load, so just give me a
Okay.
second on that. Or roll one for me, please.
All right, I will.
What are you using for a browser?
This is Edge.
Oh, okay. That's what
All
I'm
right.
using.
So Chris
Google
and
Chrome.
Docker, roll me a d4 again.
Which Chris?
The one that just says
Both.
Chris. Yeah, that's right. It's both Chris's. All right. So Chamford, you get the key that shares the room with Kale and Rin.
So you're the loser because you got the lowest roll.
She just handed over 4 keys and everybody just grabs one. So
Well, I hope the beds are big enough.
they're decent sized, sir. I hope they're okay to your liking.
I look at Kale and I say in Elven, I say, I hope we're not getting the Minotaur.
I say back to him.
I'll take his spot.
I say back to him. I'll take him over the Kender.
Oh.
Oh.
Ouch.
One smells like manure and one steals your
Yeah,
shit.
I'm impressed that you know Elvish.
I was
That's right. Does
taught.
anybody else know Elvish? In case you might have picked. Well, Chris does.
Well,
if
yeah,
you
he's
know,
an elf, right?
if you know Elvish, you can make a perception roll just to see if maybe you catch that exchange. Now, everybody is generally speaking in Abyssinian, which Docker does not speak. So,
What languages does he speak?
Common, Ogre, and Corthian. And Thieves' Cant.
yeah, Corthian would be the native tongue of the Minotaurs. So, yeah,
Moo.
it's like when I was in Puerto Rico. It's like this English speakers, but mostly it's Spanish. So that's what's happening around you. It's mostly a language you don't get, but occasionally someone will say something in common and you can pick it up. So when she addresses you, she uses common because it's safer to assume you don't know the local language necessarily.
She uses small words, speaks slowly,
Yeah,
and
speak
says
slowly
them
and clearly.
really loud.
Because that's how you make them understand.
Your room key is for that door. No.
Yeah, lots of hand gestures.
Right. So you definitely don't catch the Elven exchange for sure.
That's a language in the new PHP, sign language.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah, I
that.
saw that.
That's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Excuse me, miss, ma'am.
Yes, Yalma. Yes.
I I'm afraid I have some business in the city, and I would like some advice. Could you point me
I'm
in
your
the
bartender. I
direction
can help.
uh, of perhaps an armor smith?
An armor smith.
Seems
Well, let's
I
see.
was in such a haste to leave my encampment that I didn't pack some of my equipment.
We do have a general goods store here in town.
But nothing in
Prob-
the way of an armor.
We have a blacksmith. We don't have a lot of need for weapons necessarily. What are you looking for? Maybe I can help you.
I'm looking to purchase a shield.
A shield. Well, there might be a few stalls popping up during the festival that you could find something like a more specialized good like that. You can check the general store. I would say she gives you an address because it's not actually given to me on here. Check the market down by the wharf. I don't usually buy those kinds of things, so I'm afraid I don't know off the top of my head. I know the funeral is starting in a few hours, so you probably don't want to go out today. But I would presume, given the fact that the festival is focused around a martial reenactment, that I'm sure you could probably find something.
Would I have time just to go to the general store and back?
Tonight? Yeah, probably. I mean, the town's not huge, so yeah. She gives you
All right.
an address.
I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
Wait sorry, I'm Rin. You're here for the funeral, right? I say to Ben.
Yes, and I understand from what she said that you are also looking for
Funeral.
Becklin.
We've actually met her already. She said that she will see us later on today, but if you're in a hurry to go to the store, I've been there. I can probably speed your travel.
Oh, that would be most appreciative.
I wave to Kale and say, I'll be back. I'm going to help this young man find the store.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you guys head out to run down to the general store. What are the rest of you doing?
Doctor's going to.
Go ahead.
Docker first.
Doctor's kind of eyeing this place down, seeing kind of what kind of. It looks like a pretty tame establishment rather than a rough and tumble sort of tavern, is what I'm guessing.
Yes. In fact, you didn't see any signs of a real rough and tumble tavern in here. It's not like sailors come through or any kind of that. It's more of a quiet fishing town.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking to start a bar fight, it's going to be difficult.
He's probably looking
Just
for the
run out
thief.
of town.
Well,
I'm not with him.
Docker will ask the bartender, say, is there somewhere a little more exciting to drink? No offense, but this seems like a pretty orderly place.
It is. It's a quiet town. I hope that's not going to offend you, sir.
Well, not the most exciting sort of place, if you catch my drift. Traveling the seas, but it's all right, I suppose. What do you got for
Is
drinks?
he looking for a fight or a brothel?
Would you like an ale, sir? Or wine, if that's more your liking?
Anything
some milk?
distilled?
We have some really sour vinegar.
Mm.
Put it in a
She'll
dirty
pour you out.
glass.
Yeah, she'll pour you out a mug of ale and hand it to you, and she doesn't ask for any money.
Thanks, miss.
Bezel
Just
sat down
empty
with
some
the
of the
locals.
juice out of the pickle jar.
You sitting down with the locals there, Bezel?
No, I just took a step away from the Minotaur.
Oh, it looks like he was with it too.
And did Bezel actually make the comment about the brothel or the tavern, or
Oh, I don't know.
is he just...
Maybe not to you
even fishermen
directly.
need to fuck.
All right, what's NG up to?
Fisherman's wife.
Well, NG is NG. So on the way in, did I notice if Kender are treated the usual way, or
Yeah,
where
they
there's
seem
more
to
of
be
them, they're
considered-
tolerated?
They seem pretty tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough of them that live
Suspiciously
here.
tolerated.
Yeah, maybe suspicious. There's a decent enough population of them here that they're not looked at oddly or anything. But she'll give each of you a drink of the ale if you want it. If you want the wine, she'll charge you the silver.
I will definitely have a glass of wine.
Okay.
I'll get rid of my silver.
You get to know Kale a little bit. So Ven and Rin head down to the wharf area of the marketplace. There are a few stalls open. There's a general store that sells pretty much everything in the player's handbook. But they are surprisingly lacking in any kind of weapons or armor. And the
Martial equipment.
Right, and the proprietor is slightly apologetic. You're like, oh, if you had just come yesterday, but with the reenactment going on tomorrow, all the armor gets bought out because people want to make a good appearance. She still has a few weapons. She's like, well, we don't use real weapons for the reenactment, so I don't sell any of those, except for the wooden ones. But yeah, most of the townsfolk like to look as armored up as they can when they're trying to pretend to be a Salamnic knight.
Well, surely a wooden sword would be just fine for, this event, right, young man?
He's got swords. You can see he's got a long sword and two short swords or something.
I thought he had
He's armored. Or he's weaponized.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got weapons. I've got several bladed weapons.
How did
and
you
a
end up with
longbow.
no shield then?
Because I'm an idiot when I made my character. I literally was too hasty in making my character, so I'm saying I hastily packed for this journey and
That
didn't
works.
pack my shields.
And now the GM is never going to give you a shield. Ever.
Every town we
Make
come
you
to,
pay for
Oh, we're
They don't
fresh
sell
out!
yeah, it's like trying to
Well,
get
when
thieves'
I go
tools
up in
a board
level-
game. Or in a
When I go up in level, I'm gonna have to change out some of my class abilities. So my class abilities demand a shield. So
don't
I
worry.
I was
You'll have a
just an
chance.
idiot. No, I'm fine.
You're young. You're still young.
Like I said, I'll write it into my background that I was leaving camp and I didn't pack it. It's still back at home.
he might end up being young forever if he doesn't get a shield.
Or something like that for the rest of your life. All right, I'm gonna take a quick pee break and then we'll get to the funeral as you return.
B, that sounds great.
At least you can use shield.
Neither of the starting equipments for fighter contained a shield.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think I bought all my gear piece by piece.
Yeah, I was being lazy. I just grabbed the starting equipment. I didn't bother going through and purchasing. So again, my fault.
At least you were not too hasty. Now I'm getting confused. At least you weren't so hasty that you weren't able to min-max like me. But it's probably better I just stick with Rogue anyway.
I tried to mid-max, and I end up disappointed. So I don't try to not to do that.
It's weird
I do-
because I got a shield from starter
Yeah.
equipment, so
Fuck.
that just makes no
Fuck you.
sense. No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it to put it in your face. I'm saying that's
Yeah, I
just weird.
I'm sure one of the paladins starting with a shield too, but
I even got a shield.
And you're
Oh.
a freaking wizard.
I'm just kidding. That would be something. Here, you can have my shield. I can't use it. I don't even know why I have it.
is it a magic spell?
Well, yeah. That's what it would be.
I'd say if we knew each other better, I'd let you use mine since, I might shapeshift for battle anyway, but I just met you.
Oh, do you have a shield?
Yeah.
Or are you
came
talking about
with,
something else?
it came with my
Yeah,
DM.
apparently everyone else's starting equipment comes with a shield except for fighter.
Weird. So while you're out at the general store area, it starts to get late. You can see the fishermen starting to bring in their nets and whatnot. And you head back to the Brass Crab, and you see a bunch of people congregating out front, as well as something being set up on the back dock. There's a lot of people clustered about, so it's hard to tell, but you were told that the funeral was going to be here, so it's a pretty good presumption that that's what's going on. At the same time, inside, Becklin has arrived and is chatting it up with the newcomers, introducing herself and trading stories. Oh yes, you are Docker. Surely you're Docker. It's not. It does not take a.
What gave it away?
Yes. Is it true that Ibsen and you fought off some kind of a sea serpent and defended a small island town of dwarves from a whatever? This one's definitely not true. But you can, from the details, you can figure out which encounter you did have that got blown into this. But
Yeah, I will claim to have done even things that I may not have.
okay.
Just a little bit, but
Okay. She doesn't seem as intimidated by you as most of the townsfolk, but you can tell by the armor that she wears and whatnot that she's probably capable. I forgot to show you this. This is her.
She's got a
And,
shield.
She does have a shield.
Yeah, everyone has a shield.
She's
Shield spell.
Ven would recognize that she's Order of the Crown. In fact, I forgot to mention this part. Actually, no, never mind. I'll do it right now. As you are walking in, and she's introducing herself to each of you, she walks over to Ven, and she says,
I'll salute.
hold on a minute. Are you son of... She names off your father's name.
Yes, that is my father.
I think I met you when you were only this high. She puts her hand down around her knee height. You've come a long way, young man.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you don't have to yes, ma'am, me. Not tonight.
Yes, sir.
High charisma, high five.
You have anybody with charisma in this group?
me.
I have charisma.
I got a little
I
bit.
mean, I have a little bit.
Okay. She claps you on the shoulder.
I mean, she's
I
a
can
knight,
see.
right? So
Yes, she is.
I'm going
She's
to
a
address her
retired knight of the
as her
crown.
title.
Okay.
I mean, as her title, her station demands.
She will. She will acknowledge that you are a squire in training, and maybe discuss briefly who your sponsor was or whatever during your training, and then, oh, I know him. He was good at whatever it is, and you kind of commiserate more on the Solamnic side of things and less on the Green Shield backstories kind of stuff. You may not have heard of her, but she's a somewhat decorated knight. That's why she's been given this like cushy retirement spot, because she's older, as the image indicates. Even though she's training.
In charge
What?
of the garrison here?
Well, there is no
Garrison?
garrison here. It is only me. I man the Thornwall Keep. I serve as Castellan. It's more of an honorary
Would that be a
position at this
garrison?
point. Well, if you consider just me and Darrett here a garrison, then yes. Cudgel is here with her entourage, if you're familiar with Cudgel Ironsmile. Also friends of Green Shield and myself. And they do a pretty good job of coming when we need them to defend the town, which has never happened. But we have a ceremony to perform, so if you would join me out on the dock, we will get this over with, she says.
Wait a minute, he's alive.
Just something a little quieter. I mean, sort of.
Look how happy he is.
He's definitely not alive.
I'm dead.
Here's your handout. All right.
Is Cudgel a human or a dwarf? Or what?
Cudgel is a dwarf.
That's what I figured.
So Becklin is wearing her full plate, and she sets her helmet down on the pier next to her. She where is it? She turns. Where? Oh yeah, here she is. She turns to face the crowd. This is Cudgel. I don't know if you can see the nameplates or not. This is that one. Cudgel's got her arms crossed. She looks stern even for a dwarf. But Becklin turns to address the crowd. There are those of you on the dock overlooking the river. You see a lot of commoners and a few standout personalities. There's a guy who's extravagantly dressed down here who looks out of place.
The mayor.
And there's a woman wearing very good finery standing next to him, but they don't. Their body language says that they are not there with each other. They are just both well-to-do people in town and are thus standing together, I suppose. Ispin's body rests in a small boat, is wrapped in a shroud. There is a musician playing some soft music. As Becklin turns to address the crowd, she smiles and she says, "You all knew Ispin as a friend, and there were none like him. Before he died, he told me this: there should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of them all." She nods, and villagers carries the boat to the water's edge, so I guess it wasn't there already. Sorry. Where she and Cudgel lower it into the water. "So let us do just that," she says, as the tiny vessel is untied from its moorings and drifts out onto the Vingard River. "On the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, friend, until we meet again." There's kind of a somber hanging of the head, a moment of silence. And then she says, if you would all step into the common room, we will share a drink in his name. And everyone kind of wanders in. I was going to move his token too. That'd be weird.
Told you.
As
You
it
got better.
drifts down the river and away.
think you need to open the door.
There, he's gone now. Oh yeah.
You go through the window.
Don't.
Hell yeah.
Open. You should be able to open the doors. No.
Couldn't see it.
I'm underneath Docker.
Oh, we can open and close them.
I can't.
Yeah, you can open and close windows and doors, or you should be able to. All
After
right.
we're surprisingly solemnly and silent, we kind of watch the boat drift away and give a very formal Imperial Navy salute.
Okay, I like it. So of the people that are here, most of them are just townsfolk. The woman here. Oops, did it not pop up? She goes and stands next to Becklin and is seemingly talking a lot to her about the upcoming preparations for the Kingfisher Festival and blah blah blah. That is her. And from gathered communications, you pick up that she's the mayor, actually. This guy, nobody wants to talk to. He is a pompous person. He mostly just talks to this guy, which is apparently his son.
Thus the
And
name.
Draco
And they-
Malfoy?
Yeah, right? They both seem like a pair of special folk, let's say. Just no one really likes them, and they don't actually stay very long. They come in, they grab their free drink, and then they leave.
Signor
Oh, wait,
Ledouche and his son?
Yes, they actually don't leave just yet because
Do we hear at all what their positions are or who they are exactly?
make an investigation roll. I'll give you a roll to gather information. It used to be. Just that they're wealthy. You can't really tell if they hold any kind of position in town, but nobody really wants to talk to them. So Becklin orders a round of drinks for everyone, and Yelme provides bread, cheese, keeps the ale coming. And a few other townsfolk come in and go because they know that this is happening, and they knew him as well. So it's a general light-hearted wake kind of feeling like this. There's sad tales told. She begins by telling one of Ispin's favorite stories. The time the high sub-senior artillerist of Mount Nevermind launched her pet weasel all the way from the Gnome Enclave to Sanchrist Island, and hired Ispin to recover the critter, or at least note its trajectory. She tells several other charming stories and then invites attendees to share tales as well. And I have a random list of tales here. Someone steps up. We'll say Cudgel. You haven't met her yet. But in her gravelly dwarf voice, she says, I remember when Ispin and I spent a night in a rock's nest high in the Vingard Mountains. But when the sun rose... ... Story continues. I'm just giving starters here, but I'm not going to flesh out every story. Let's see. We've got for 3 days, a
rocks or-
trireme crewed by Minotaur pirates had been chasing Ispin's ship across the Blood Sea of Istar when finally... that might be one that Docker's involved with. One night, Ispin shared a campfire with a befuddled old man who disappeared before dawn, never to be seen again. Ispin always remembered the strange advice the traveler offered. I wonder if that strange old man was named Fizban. Once, Ispin saved an entire village by using his shield to... ... As
Because he
someone...
had one.
Right?
Of course he did.
As someone is telling one of their stories, the kid in the back here yells out, or has an exaggerated yawn. Everyone turns to look at him. He says, "We've heard this 1,000 times. You're telling it worse than he did. This is the worst ale I've ever tasted."
Wow.
Everyone else just kind of grumbles and doesn't confront him. And once he realizes he has sort of an audience, he begins to heckle anybody who tells any story. He complains, "That wouldn't happen. Yeah, that's fake. I always knew he lied." And he just keeps going.
Do I know the silence spell yet?
I don't know, do you?
No, I think it's like a level 2 or something.
And every time he heckles, you notice that his father just kind of beams like, "That's my boy."
How quietly can you cast a spell with verbal components?
Not
It's
very
like
quietly.
it's like a stealth roll to...
I'm going to approach them.
I want to make him
Okay.
smell like skunk.
Ooh, okay, which
So-
spell is that?
Here's a
Druid
question.
craft?
Let me roll
If he's making
my
a
terrible
stealth roll-
Oof. Ooh. Okay.
Right, but if he's using a stealth for something like magic, would he be using dexterity or something else?
Verbal. That's a good point. You know, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go because it's in the moment. This isn't like a critical if you fail. All right. So
Right.
you start to make him smell a little bit, right? That's what that lets you do.
I make the faint odor of skunk around him, so he'll probably
Ooh.
smell it too.
Yeah. His dad's like, "Honest, what did...
Something.
Really? You had to
sticks
do
in
that
here.
now? You're disgusting, my boy." Then he probably smells it
Dr.
himself.
Ralston.
Ah! I don't know. Honest, Father, I don't know what this is. What's going on? Everyone kind of backs away from him until he's just like standing alone for a minute.
Docker also has something he'd like to do. He'll have a turn telling a story, but he'll preface it by saying, "Well, kid, if this is the worst ale you've tasted, then you haven't traveled much yet. Now let me tell you one you might not have heard. They call him Green Shield for a reason. The day
See, his
I
shield
met...
was green.
Well, yeah, his shield's green.
Good reason.
End of story.
They talk about his shield particular for a reason. The day I met him, I found that out. We thought his ship would be easy prey. We were wrong. We had him outnumbered 2-1, and they were half our size. But Green Shield, and at this Docker kinda shakes his head. I didn't know a human could even reach high enough. But his shield, it's my skull like the Emperor's skull. I was flat on the deck before I knew what hit me. And that's the only time that happened. His group carried the day. And you might say, despite his prowess, he is the only and despite my being on the opposing side, he's the only reason I'm still here today. And Docker raises a nail.
Raise my
Everybody in the
ale.
room- Yeah, except for the two Bacarises. At this point, they kind of leave. He's dragging his son out because he stinks. It's like, you're making a fool out of me. Okay, let's go.
So if you two think you can outfight him, well, you're welcome to try with me.
There's a few teary eyes in the room. I mean, there probably would have been anyway, but
From the skunk smell.
yes, there's a clap. You are cheered a little bit, and a little murmuring around the room and whatnot. Let's see.
So you see, he's not only a man of strength. More important, he's a man of honor.
Here, here, shouts Cudgel. And when your tale is through and someone else is starting to talk, Cudgel wanders over to you. Says, "You're Docker, right?"
Yep, you must be Cudgel, eh?
I sure am.
Well, if half the tales are true, or they're half as true as they sound, you'd give him a run for his money in a fight. And I'm impressed.
I don't know about that, but thanks to Green Shield, I run my own company, Mercenaries now, the Ironclad Regiment.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
They keep order around here?
We travel between here and Calaman and a few other towns, but we check in now and then to see if there's anything going on. It's a quiet part of the world. You're probably not familiar with that kind of a quiet situation, you being a sailor and a pirate and all.
Well, the Imperial capital's pretty quiet, except they're always butting heads, so to speak, sometimes literally. But yeah, you could say things are a lot more exciting on the high seas.
Right? It's not something I usually prefer to engage in. What? On account of I can't swim.
Hmm.
Us dwarves, we sink like a rock.
Yeah, we do.
That's Jim speaking out of character.
Well, the armor might not help, but sure, you'd think us Minotaurs would sink, but guess we don't.
Water buffalo.
Now, there is one other guest in this room that has so far kept to herself. She stays on the fringes in the corner away from everyone else. She is a slightly blue-skinned elf. She sips her wine, although it doesn't look like the level's changing at all, like maybe she's doing it for look and not actually drinking it. And she just watches and seems to be taking things in. Which, if you didn't know, is this elf guy.
Mm-hmm. So blue skin, that means she's a moon elf? Honesty?
It says blue skinned Sylvanesti, but I didn't think Sylvanesti were blue skin.
I didn't
But
think so, but okay.
it's a slightest blue tint.
Alright.
If you do not interact with her, that is fine. She will just watch the room, and when tales start to die down, she heads into this room here, into the door. It opens and closes. She will have a part to play later.
Dun, dun, dun.
Foreshadowing.
After the funeral,
So not a CEO.
it's hard to tell. Could be.
Yep.
Blue-skinned would fit the CL description as well. Reception begins to wind down, and Becklin kind of gets together with all of you. Just pull you up close together. Who am I missing? Bezel. The mayor goes over here. The mayor leaves. And she's here. Ben. So she walks up. She says, "It was very, very lovely to meet all of you. It's been met a lot in his travels, but you six, I swear, every other story involved one of you. He said to me once before he died, if they ever became a team, they would be a force to be reckoned with. Which is why I would like to speak with you at my keep tomorrow morning for breakfast. If you could. Espen had a final request. But I will bid you leave, and should you choose to come after sunup, we will share a meal and trade some more stories."
Very good.
I will be there then.
And she shakes each of your hands in turn and says, "If you choose not to come, then it was great to meet you, but I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow and throughout the festival. Thank you." And then she and Darrett, "Come, Darrett!" And they leave.
And while shaking her hand, Docker will say, "And if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind a friendly spar with you. I'm curious if you could knock me on my ass like he could, but I wouldn't be too surprised."
Perhaps I will entertain that notion. This is Darrett. I don't know if I shared him yet.
You shared his face, I don't think.
Okay.
You did the whole thing.
I'll share this one too, just in case I forget. This is what he wears during the reenactment. He cleans up nice.
Looks less like Shaggy.
Right? Yeah.
Less Shaggy, more Fred.
So you head to your quarters for the night, and at least you've got to know each other somewhat, so it's not too awkward.
Who am I rooming with?
You are rooming with Bezel and Docker.
I thought Bezel was with us.
Oh no, you're right. Bezel's with them. You're rooming with Ven and Docker.
All right.
And one of them snores badly.
Fucking fantastic.
Maybe one of us could make a diagram of how awesome it is.
A Venn diagram?
Yeah.
You had to actually say that out loud before I got it.
I thought the diagram was of something different, but it still included Ven.
I'm gonna be peppering Docker with all kinds of questions about minotaurs, including, do all minotaurs sound like crustule prospectors, or is it just you?
Wow.
Ask him if female minotaurs have 6 teats.
Can you milk a female minotaur?
With or without getting punched out.
Yeah, I know. How long do you let this go on before you slug him?
Do they bottle it? Could I try some?
Docker will be magnanimous, we'll say, though maybe beneath it shows slight irritation, but respond with things like, well, do they milk Kender women?
Yes.
I don't know. I'll have to ask.
I haven't tried.
I'm
Kender
sure somebody does.
Are you talking Kender prospectors or elves or? If you
I don't know, but I think you and me are gonna be best friends. Before Ispin was my best friend and I was his, but I'm in the market.
I see. Well,
Meanwhile, I'm already fully asleep.
Yeah. Just zonk.
well, good to hear. Just know that I keep my darts in my coin bag. You wouldn't want to get yourself cut.
But I start sucking on my finger as if I already have been.
Okay. Well, after you get your questions out of the way, or until the Minotaur falls asleep, you sleep
With
the night
difficulty
pretty well.
with the tiny head.
Right. In the morning, you get up and step outside, and the town is just awash with festive energy. Double time, the people are setting up their decorations. Houses that weren't already decorated are getting decorated now. There's an overall giddy atmosphere. And you know where Thornwall Keep is. You can see it perched over the town. It says like a ancient edifice, ghostly in the morning mist. Good morning, Beckland's friends, comes a cheerful voice. I'm glad I caught you. From a shop doorway steps the young man, Darrett Beckland's. Darrett, yes, Beckland's student. I hope you haven't had breakfast already.
No, we're supposed to eat breakfast with Becklin.
Good, come. I have just purchased the fresh baked hand pies from the fishbowl. They're good. They're really, really good.
They don't have
Hand
hands in them, do they?
pies?
No. You hold them with your hand when you eat them. You don't need
I'm
a
not
knife and
buying
fork.
this from an old witch lady, am I?
There's no drink tasting here.
Made with poison apples, no doubt.
But he will escort you to Thornwall Keep. He is cheerfully greeting townspeople, a lot of them by name, as you walk your way up to the hill. He says, I grew up here. How about you? Where have you been? What? That's a nice weapon you got there. Where did you get that? And he starts, if anybody, even if it's just a passerby, somebody mentions the Kingfisher Festival. And he's like, you know why they celebrate the festival? It commemorates the victory of Lord Decatur Vogler over the forces of the Empire of Istar. The battle occurred hundreds of years ago, before the Cataclysm, and sparked our founding. We'll have good music, food, games, and Cudgel's going to be acting as the Istar troupe this year. Her band. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes, check it out.
Why don't you talk to Angie?
Ispin used to talk about you all the time.
Well, then
This is-
maybe I should join the Salon next if I get to fight her.
I don't think they can have a helmet in your size.
He doesn't need it. He already has horns.
The man has a point. I don't need one. Tell me, why do they call it the Kingfisher Festival then?
Because the Solamnic Knights revere the Kingfisher as a symbol. A lot of their armor and weapons have it emblazoned on the front.
Now, the Kingfisher's a bird, right?
It is a bird, yes. Anyway, it's this way. And he leads you up the path to a bronze ivy-covered keep. It is an ancient 3-story tower. From its crenellated roof rises an elaborate device resembling a catapult. Crumbling ruins of walls and other fallen structures surround the keep, and amid them lie several shallow square pits and covered excavation sites. Where is that? That is here. Don't think I have any tokens on the map yet.
Did he give us hand pies, or we headed?
No,
to
but
eat
he's got a
hand
basket.
pies?
He's got a basket full of them. They're warm and smell tasty.
Hmm.
And you are.
Just eat some while we're all looking on, starving.
I'm just gonna put you on the map. No. And I'm gonna need those two as well.
Oh, it took me a second to realize where this is. That's the front gate.
Yeah. I turned off the crazy lighting. I think the scale might be a little off on this one. But I'm just gonna put you in the house. It seems very cramped. It's a little bit
Houses
bigger
seem
than...
a little small.
I know. Well, it's not a battle map. It's just for a show. But you can see the catapult thingy in the image there. But she's waiting. She's sitting on one of the couches, and as Darrett walks in, he sets the basket of pies in the center of the table and pulls back the little cloth covering and says, "Please, just grab one. Dig in. They're delicious." Which Becklin immediately does. Says, "Welcome to Thornwall Keep."
If this isn't a battle map, then
I mean, it is, but
so it's
I'm just
not
using it for
Chekhov's catapult.
Well, it is an interesting catapult for sure. She says, "This is my keep. I'm in charge of maintaining it. As you can see, there's some historical excavations going on out front. Not really my thing. That would be the work of what's his name? Damn it, what's his name? Than. That would be Than's work. He's our resident tinker gnome."
Oh. I wondered why that catapult looked a little shoddy. I mean,
It's
odd.
not a catapult. Than calls it a gnome flinger. He says when he gets it completed, it's going to be a fast mode of transportation.
I understand the launching part, the flinging.
Yes, it's the
I
landing.
don't understand the landing.
Yes. Then I see that you have come to the same conclusions I have. He's an interesting enough fellow, but it always seems to be in various states of repair, so I'm assuming it's never going to actually be fixed, and that's probably good for his continued survival. I am glad you all came. I wanted to discuss Ispin's final wishes. He won't be attending the Kingfisher Festival this afternoon for obvious reasons. But he asked that you would all participate for him. Specifically, that you would take the place normally reserved for him during the reenactment on the Battle of High Hill. So you would join the Solamnic Knights. One of you will be the leader of the defense. Every year he looked forward to participating and dying in an even more ludicrous way than the year before. She smiles with the memory. And it comes with a small gift. She leaves the room for a moment. Must go upstairs because I don't know where else she would go. And she comes back
The other
carrying.
rooms don't have doors.
She returns carrying a shallow wooden box, approximately 3 feet to a side. She sets it down on the table. It's been left this for you, all of you. I don't know how you're going to share it. And she pries off the lid, revealing his green shield.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
take it.
It is carved with a scarred broadleaf tree and painted a mossy green. You've all seen it before. You remember the story he told, how a unicorn gave it to him in this far-off forest of darkened wood. Whether or not that's true, no one's ever going to know. You may only have the shield if you agree to participate in the reenactment. That was the stipulation. After that, it's yours to keep.
Well, it sounds like fun
I
to
don't think
me.
it would be fair for me to speak for the group, but I will gladly take part in this.
As I hoped you would.
I suppose the
She
least
steps
we could
back
do.
so you can take the shield out of the box. It is a +1 shield.
Damn.
For me?
Yeah, or for her, unless the party wants to fight you for it. Bum, bum,
We'll
bum,
split-
bum, 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 bum.
Everyone else already has a shield except for me.
I say we split it evenly. To the smithy.
You
We'll
each
take
get
turns with it.
a
We
sixth
get it
of
for
a
a night.
shield.
I vote the fighter takes it.
Which one?
The one that doesn't have a shield.
The one that needs a shield? Right.
The one that didn't
don't have a
bother to
shield.
bring one with him.
I didn't bring one.
Yeah.
He's young. He doesn't know any better. Give him a break.
I could totally use a shield.
I brought my clean underwear.
Well, put that right on
See,
the
that's the
shield.
important thing.
So she trades a few more stories with you, eats the rest of the ham pies with you, and then says, I have to
Ham
prepare
pies?
hand pies. They're like the little, what they used to be, McDonald's apple pie, little comes in a little cardboard tube.
Oh, are they
A
like
hot
boiling
pocket.
lava hot?
It's
in
a
the
hot
middle?
pocket.
Yes, they're like boiling lava in the middle. Yeah, exactly.
Breakfast Hot Pockets?
And then she has to prepare for, getting High Hill prepared for the reenactment. So she has to take her leave. Darrett will go with her, and you are issued back out into the town where the festival is beginning to really get underway.
I apologize I wasn't able to say it earlier, but earlier Docker will say, I'd be glad to participate both for Green Shield and because I get to fight Cudgel. This sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just like
good.
shaking my head like this guy has a one-track mind, man.
Most Minotaurs do.
That's probably the only one I've ever met.
Ooh. I can play my panpipes with those people.
You can. When you return to town, the Kingfister. Oh wow, I can't say it. Kingfister, yeah.
The Kingfister?
The Kingfister.
Oh,
The
is that a
Kingfister
royal position,
Festival.
or did someone earn that title after?
The festival is in full swing. Happy villagers drift from their homes toward the sounds of laughter and upbeat music at the village circle. You arrive in the center of town, following the flow of traffic, just in time to hear the mayor address the crowd. Oh, that was not the box text. Here's the box text. Colorful banners and paper decorations shaped like kingfishers decorate the village circle. Temporary stalls sell food and colorful crafts. And in the center of the circle, an ancient tree provides shade for happy picnickers. From a temporary stage, a band of local musicians brings a spirited song to a close as Mayor Raven Vogler takes the stage. Welcome, friends, the mayor begins, raising her arms high. Welcome to the Kingfisher Festival! Cheers and applause fill the circle. The mayor smiles widely. Today is a day not only of revelry, but also reflection. We are all here thanks to the courage of heroes who came before us. Let us honor our founders, our family, and all those who can't be here to celebrate today. Enjoy your festival, Vogler, with good spirits, good times, and good friends. And look to the Kingfishers for good luck. An energetic round of cheers follows the mayor's words. With that, the Kingfisher Festival is officially underway. I'm going to... Alright, so it's a festival. I don't have, like Nate did, I don't have like 1,000 little mini games to play. But it is feasting. There's food everywhere. There's some free stuff, and there's more specialized fare for merchants who are trying to make a buck off the festival.
Carnies.
Yes, there's carnies. There's music. There's shell games that are obviously rigged to lose. But toward the noonish, it's announced that the fishing tournament is about to begin. And the way the fishing tournament goes, it's all afternoon in 30-minute increments. Whoever can catch the most or biggest total fish in 30 minutes wins the contest. Should you wish to participate, they provide gear. If you have fishing gear of your own, you get advantage. It's like one of the rare times I've ever seen where actually having starting equipment with gear like that actually gives you a benefit. And the mayor is participating in the first round. She shows up with her own fishing pole resting on her shoulder. She's got that pool shark attitude going on, like, yeah, that's right, I got my own gear. And she takes her place on the wharf among the other competitors and beckons anyone else who's going to participate to get in line along the docks. She says, it's time to find out who among us Kingfisher fisher folk is the Fisher King! As she casts her first line into the river.
Because it's only 30-minute intervals, nobody ever catches anything.
The other competitors kind of groan at her pun, but with a cheerful, like a laugh, kind of a ha-ha groan. And then they toss their lines out as well. Now, does anybody else feel like participating?
Yep.
All right.
Docker will, and if she said the pun in common, he will laugh appreciatively.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think because you're there, I'm gonna say she's being nice and using common. Most of the reactions are in like Evanescinian or whatever it is, but she'll address you specifically and speak in common. Anyone else or no?
I will participate.
Participate?
Participate.
Okay.
Yes, I will participate in one round of fishing.
Okay.
Though I have not the skill or the equipment.
1 30-minute round is 3 casts. You roll a d20 to see which fish nibbles on your line, and then you have to make a survival roll to reel it in. The survival roll varies depending on which fish is nibbling on your line. So, if you're casting a line, roll a d20.
So if we get a marlin, it's probably going to be a high roll.
Well, there's a named fish. There's a mythical named fish in the river that you have a chance of catching.
Ooh.
All right, Docker, you cast your line out there, and a mature river eel bites onto the end of your line. I need you to make a survival check. All right, you do not reel it in. It snaps your line. Vezel, you have a mature curest carp, which up to 3 feet long. Roll a survival roll. Oh, 14. You pull it in. You've got a 3-foot fish.
Nice.
All right.
Don't
Round
forget
2.
me. You didn't do me.
Oh. Where's your 20? Where's your
8 up there. 8.
Oh, the 8. 8. You have a tiny curious carp. Curious carp? I need a survival roll. Oh, more than enough. You got a 1 foot fish. All right. So we have a 1 and a 3. It looks like the mayor has a fish. I'm not going to tell you how big yet. That's why her picture had that big fish in it.
So she wins.
No, not necessarily. It gives me her total. So, second round, everybody roll a d20.
Docker kind of grumbled. Yeah, they don't make fishing rods here like they do in the capital.
Docker, I need your last d20. Oh, there we go. All right. So we'll start with Jim. I need another survival roll. You have another tiny carp. Grab it on, and you reel it in with no problem. That's 2 feet you're up to. Bezel, you don't get any bites. For 10 minutes, you're watching your line just sit there in the water. Docker, you also have a small carp. You need a survival roll as well.
Will I survive?
You pull this one in. You have a 1 foot carp.
I spent the 30 minutes tangled in my own line.
I hope you're keeping track of your totals because I've already lost track. All right, round 3, d20 rolls.
Oh.
All right. All right. Joran, you have a tiny river eel. I need another wisdom. Oh yeah, reel it in like an expert. You beat it by 10, so you have another foot. Chamfered Bezel, sorry, you're just not getting any luck. Nothing's biting. And Docker with a 13. You have a mature river eel. Can you reel it in with a survival check? You cannot. It snaps your line and gets away. So after 30 minutes, what are your totals?
3.
3? Chris?
1.
1.
All
right.
3 foot.
The mayor has a total of 7 feet of fish, followed by another villager who has a total of 5.
No.
Everyone else does very poorly.
Oh,
Do we get to
it's
keep the
the
fish?
total in.
You can keep the fish.
It's
yes,
the total
the
in feet of fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't tell me what she caught, but there's... Now, if you had rolled a 20, you have a chance to catch Benagog the Line Breaker. He is an 8-foot fish with a catch DC of 18.
Wow.
After that round, she's declared the winner. Everybody cheers. A couple people yell, "Rigged! Rigged!" but with a half-hearted, they're faking it kind of thing. She thanks the crowd for the time, the fun, and whatnot. And she goes back in to share more food and stuff. Now, if you want to do a second round of fishing, we can roll one more time for fun.
I do. I want the big fish.
Because it is kind of fun.
I do too.
All right. If you're fishing, roll a d20. Ooh.
All right.
Freshwater fishing.
Ooh, shit. All right, so Joran and Bezel both have a chance at a mature carp. All right, Joran 22, you reel it in. That's a 3-footer. Bezel, could you also roll survival? Docker, you got nothing. Wow, all right, we got 2 3-footers on the dock. You've already done way better than your first round. All right, 3 more
I had a
d20
3-footer
rolls.
in my first round.
Oh, you did catch? Okay, I thought you had a total of 1.
No, I had one
you
fish
didn't
at 3
catch
feet.
it. Right. Well, you've got him on the dock now.
No, I rolled in the one
Oh, so what was your total?
3 feet.
Oh, that was
Because you said how many, and I
Right.
said, well, 1, because you didn't specify it was feet of fish, not number of fish.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't trying to track it. Okay, so yeah, you still.
Oh.
Docker.
Don't fuck
All
up.
right. I need Bezel's 220 roll first. There we go. All right, so Joran has a tiny carp on the line. I need a survival roll.
Every time you say that, take a carp.
You fail. It
Can I
snaps your line.
Can I help Docker? Is there assist rules?
Well, you were fishing. If you weren't fishing, I would let you.
Oh, that's right. At the same time, yeah.
All right, Bezel with a 19. What did you have? You had a 13. So you have a mature river eel. So that's a 1.5 foot. And
Do we have any inspiration?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Everybody has an inspiration right now because you've been role playing and doing a great job of it. So
I'm
I will
gonna-
give you inspiration if you would like to spend it on this roll.
Yes, I'm gonna spend it on this roll, so he gets that is.
Okay, go for it. All right. So you're reeling on that reel, and for a moment, you see this massive fish, and you hear a couple of the crowds yell, "He's got Benagog! He's got Benagog!" And everyone's looking at you as you reel and reel and reel and reel, and the line snaps.
Too much
And you
pressure.
hear, and you hear someone yell, "That's why he's the line breaker!"
I was just gonna say.
Well,
Someone's like, oh, this guy thought he could get Benagog.
All right.
so then
Go ahead.
Docker is going to say, well, then I guess I shouldn't use a line, and dive right in after the fish.
I'm not going to say you can catch it, but you can get in the water and people are like, "Hey, what is he doing?"
There's a
That's
giant
not-
cow
that's
flailing
cheating.
around, scaring
Yeah,
away
yeah.
all the fish. Nobody gets fish the last part
Yeah,
of the round.
that's what I'm going to go with that. There's like a, "Oh!"
Ruined it for everyone, Docker.
What? I'm spear fishing.
You try it, but you get the impression just from the way people are jeering at you that if you caught Benagog by hand, that would just ruin the spirit of the whole thing. But you're eventually fished out of the water, and there's a general like, "Aw," because the fish are kind of gone. So it takes about an hour for the waters to calm down and the fish to come back. So the next 2 rounds of the fishing tournament are postponed, and everybody goes back to the market for
Good job, Docker.
for some food. You have a wet minotaur standing there, and,
It's not like a wet
4.5
dog.
feet of fish this time.
but a couple townsfolk come over and they clap you on the back and they say something in a language you don't understand. The rest of you hear them go, "Better luck next time, big guy."
Grin appreciatively.
And then when you get back to the market, one guy's like, "You should have seen him. He jumped in after it. He had Benagog on the line, and then he jumped in after it." Oh, and it's kind of a, yeah, it's a bit of
I
chatter.
translate for him. Hold on. They say you have offended their gods. You must make a sacrifice to appease them.
Now, amidst the revelry, you do see Lord Baccharis drinking a lot. And just sitting there complaining about how boring this festival is as he just continues to drink.
Is that the
and drink
douchey
and
guy?
drink. Yes, it is the senior douchey guy.
Right. As opposed to Draco Malfoy.
Yes, and he wanders over to we'll say Joran, and he kind of elbows you. He goes, "This is why do you even have fun here? This is such a ridiculous pastime."
Oh, I'm sorry. I see my friend over there. And I wander off.
Okay. He goes and he starts pestering somebody who's getting ready to try to fish again to see if the fish are back. But the festival goes on all afternoon until finally a horn is blown at what would be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they announce that it's time to march to High Hill, which is about a 30-minute walk, where the Battle of High Hill will be reenacted as soon as everyone gets there. And the crowd just gathers up their stuff and begins basically an impromptu parade up the hill, or toward the hill. The mayor gives a speech. It's a rehearsed speech. It's written down, and it involves rallying Vogler's militia to defend against the impending Istar forces, and there's cheers, And you can see that there's a bit of a level of drunkenness to the crowd at this point. You know, they've been reveling all afternoon, so there's an extra festive and interesting angle to this whole reenactment. And the parade marches on to the hill, and I am going to probably stop because that's going to be its own event, and I don't have 20 minutes to run a battle on High Hill.
But is the juicy guy there?
But I can show you High Hill. I put you on it already.
Huh?
The forces are not here yet, but this is your portion of the High Hill map.
Oh, we're here first. We can set up an ambush.
Yes! Get him!
I'm guessing magic is forbidden in this whole battle.
I mean, non-lethal.
Right.
You see, when you get there's like all kinds of padded spears, wooden swords, just all kinds of armaments ready to grab, and the townsfolk begin to grab their chosen weapons of choice, and they take up positions along the edge of the wall. And you see Cudgel arrive with the Iron Guard Legion or whatever it's called, marching up to form ranks around the base of the hill. And let's see. This reenactment is a little different than past years because the mayor has arranged, well, that too, because the mayor has arranged for Cudgel to perform the Istar duties. Usually the town would split up into half and half. So now it can be more accurate, in air quotes. So Cudgel is on the hill, Becklin is on the hill, her squire with his armor is on the hill. Oh, hey, look, box text. Passing through woods and fields, Vogler's parade of militia members and reenactment spectators finally reaches High Hill. The grassy slope is spotted with trees and crumbling stone fences. Near the base, several dozen soldiers in matching armor stand in even formation. The contrast is striking between these mercenaries of the Ironclad Regiment and Vogler's militia with their mismatched armor and crooked helmets. But it does nothing to dampen the spirits of those assembled for the Kingfisher Festival's climactic reenactment. As after much laughter and jostling, the mayor, Cudgel, and other spectators walk to a nearby vantage to watch. As they do, the militia takes up its position atop High Hill, the same Solemnic hill Solemnic troops held centuries ago. They face the mercenaries of the Ironclad Regiment at the base of the hill, arrayed as the forces of Istar once were. Although the event is only a reenactment, a tingle of excitement fills the field. Somewhere on the line, a reenactor hoots and yells, "Let's send those Istarian rats running!" A moment later, a trumpet blast signals the start of the battle. "For Istar!" yells the mercenaries' leader, a tall half-ogre among several mounted soldiers. The mock Istarian troops assault the hill. Around you, the Vogler militia charges to meet them. Make a perception roll, please.
They have an ogre?
Half-ogre. All right. So, who hasn't rolled yet? Ooh, Bessel's got a good one. I don't think Doug rolled either.
Whoa,
there it is.
Ben.
Oh, wow. All right, Ven and Bezel and Joran. Notice something is slightly off. You catch the sun glinting off the mercenaries' not covered spear tips. And the axe the ogre is wielding seems to be alarmingly real. The unexpected sound of metal clashing on armor rings across the field, silencing laughter and melodramatic boasts. A ribbon of red splashes over the grassy hill, followed by shocked screams. Any pretense of a reenactment shatters. High Hill is the site of a true battle once more. Within moments, all around you, armed mercenaries attack unprepared villagers fighting for their lives. that is where I'm going to stop.
What?
Now, here's the thing about
Yay,
this. Here's the thing about this battle map.
bloodshed.
The weird border with all the fiery icons and stuff like that. That is the general chaos of the rest of the battle around the hill. It's going to signal, what we're going to have here happening is what's just what you deal with as the rest of the larger melee goes on around you. You can go into those squares, but they're difficult terrain, and you have a chance of taking damage while you're in there.
These stylized flames are representative of
Yes. Yep.
war.
Yeah, that is
What's
the
the
way.
big arrow for?
That is the shadow of the tree. If you move around it, it disappears.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I was confused by that too.
that's
Yep.
kind of weird.
Yeah, it's because you can see multiple characters' tokens. When I fix that and change that later on, you will only just not see behind the tree.
Yeah, they did the shadow of the tree as an X. They should have just did like a circle or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do well. You can draw a circle, I guess.
All right.
But
Hey,
So at the
horses.
base of the hill, you have 3 mounted regiment members on horses that are charging in your direction,
oh, fun!
and that's where it's going to start.
Hey, Jamie, do you know how to ride a horse?
For
Uh,
reference, you can see that Becklin and Cudgel are both shocked at what is happening.
Aw,
I don't think you need special skill to ride a horse in 5th
No, you don't. You just use the horse's movement rate as your movement rate.
or to fight
You
on
might-
one.
isn't there a mounted combat thing, or is they don't have that anymore?
I think that just
It
gives
might-
you bonuses.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Right.
what about riding a minotaur?
Well, then
Well,
the
the
Minotaur goes on
Kender-
its own turn.
the Kender could probably do it.
Oh, easily.
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna be Jamie's
The
steed.
Kender will do it.
You're my tail gunner.
There you go.
All right, you can stop the stream, Jim.
Just watch the horns.